And good morning. I'm Pete Najarian on this Friday morning for Market Rebellion. This is The Take. I got to tell you something. You go back to yesterday, you take a look, and you'll say, wow, what a ho-hum day. What happened yesterday? We were only down 65 points, NASDAQ up about 15 points, and I look over at the S&P, it finished up 5 points. Just seemed like kind of a sleepy day. No, it did not. That's why you got to dig deep into the day. As a matter of fact, yesterday was an absolutely incredible day. When you consider the fact that we started off the day in the pre-market down over 300 points on the Dow and ripped off of that level and then started moving, and you talk about intraday movement, that's exactly what we had. That's exactly why when you look at the volatility index, you see a level at a range that goes from 20 to up as high as just short of 25 yesterday. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the impact of what was going on and how different things were, and we are back in this very volatile type of movement that we've seen. We closed up right around 2167 for the volatility index. And how about this? We had some volume yesterday. Oh yeah, I've been talking about volume. I've been talking about it all week. I went back and we looked at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was gone for those 3 days. Then you take a look at yesterday. Holy smokes, we had an absolutely amazing 44.4 million contract day. Now, we've been over 40 million on multiple occasions this year, but still nice to see the real volumes really start to churn up and return in the derivatives market. So what was sort of the behind all of this? Well, there's a lot of different things that people were trying to unpack and trying to figure out, and it has to do with the Fed. It also has to do with the variance and all the rest of that. But when you look at crude, that has continued to drop and drop and drop. And actually, we finished below 64 yesterday for the price of crude. That was big. The 10-year's been kind of hovering right around this 124 level. What's been standing out, however, has been Bitcoin. And if you haven't been paying attention, pay attention to this, because we talk about something that went from 60,000, had that huge drop, got underneath 30,000, and here we are now, hovering near that 47,000 range for Bitcoin. So that's something I think you really have to at least pay attention to understand the cryptocurrency world and what's going on there, and as a backdrop to everything else. Because it used to always be, well, what about gold? What about silver, precious metals, all of that? Well, what about Bitcoin? And keep an eye on Bitcoin as well. So I talked about these sectors and we talked about some of the volumes. How about what was really moving? Energy, obviously with crude, that was down about 2.5%. There are certain names that really stood out. We talk about these beta names all the time, but when I look at Occidental down 6%, Marathon down about 4%, that really just sort of says it all. Then you look over at the materials and the industrials and the financials, they're all down somewhere, call it close to about 0.75%. Not a huge negative move to the downside, but Freeport Mac, that was down yesterday about 4%. You had Boeing down about 3%. Goldman Sachs was down over a percent or so. So a little bit of headaches going on there. Much improved from where we were off of those lows, though. And technology, the standout, up about 1% yesterday. Semiconductors up about 0.8% yesterday. So we got a nice move there. But the reason we didn't see a huge move out of the NASDAQ, biotech down about 2.5%. Who was the leader? The leader on the upside is also the leader on the downside, it seems, each and every day, and that's Moderna. Moderna yesterday was down about 6%. So the combination of all of those things, and not everything was sour yesterday. There's no doubt about it. We rallied back, but you take a look at Cisco up 4%. Look at Netflix, which was up about 4%. I'm looking at CBOE, finished up about 4%. My old stomping grounds doing very, very well. NVIDIA up about 4% as well. That's that post-earnings move that they had. United Health, good old Minnesota company, up about 2.5% as well. So that all leads into today. Now, kind of call it just a rewind of yesterday. Not quite as dramatic, but look at the pre-market, we're down about 150 points. We get a little closer to the opening, suddenly that's completely disappeared. We're looking at a market that's up about 5 points. You got a nice move from the NASDAQ up, that was down about 20, 25 points, suddenly up 40 points, then up 35 points, then up 100 points. Last I looked, the NASDAQ was up 130 points, and the Dow had ticked up towards that up 200 points before kind of easing back a little bit. Not sure where it is right now. That's how fast things are moving right now in the markets. The markets are shifting and moving, and it certainly is exciting. I love it. This is exactly what traders and investors are all looking for. You get that big spike in volatility, you look for opportunities in stocks to buy, and you sell that implied volatility against it. So that's the deal. But how long are we going to stay above 20? Because we certainly are dropping pretty quickly. I will tell you this. We opened the day somewhere, call it around 2130 on the volatility index. Next thing you know, we're around 2075. Last I looked, 20 is now gone. We were trading about 1980. And as we get further into the day, barring any kind of major volatility, we might see that volatility index drop a little bit more and a little bit more as we price in the weekend. Because always remember, this is a Friday. I know it's not a long weekend, but this is what happens each and every week. It's a Friday. You got to start pricing options on Saturday. Then you got to start pricing the options as if it were Sunday. And then all of a sudden you have to start pricing the options at what it looks like on Monday. And as you do that, you see that volatility index just kind of slowly sift a little bit lower. We'll see if that happens. Depends a lot upon some of the movements that we get in that final hour. And we all know the final hour each and every day is always something to look forward to. So I mentioned crude underneath 63, the 10-year right about 1.24, just been kind of hanging around in there. Sectors, technology, absolutely been the leader since the start of the day, had a nice move and then continued up about 0.5%. Last I looked, it was up more than 1%. Materials, up about 0.5%. Energy made a nice turn, being down close to 1%. It was improving. Biotech having a good bounce back day, up about 1.5%. That's a lot of what's fueling the NASDAQ right now. You look at technology and you're getting the help from biotech. That all is going to help out. Oh, and you add in some of those Chinese names that are moving to the upside as well. Pinduoduo and JD and all of those various names, Baidu and so forth, having a pretty reasonable day. All of that kicking up the NASDAQ as well, giving it a little bit of a push to the upside. What's not getting a push to the upside? Raw stores. Now, TJX, we've had a lot of option paper that's been very bullish. It's down a little bit today, probably in sentiment to what we're seeing from raw stores. But raw stores guidance certainly was an issue, and a very surprising guidance to the downside that seemed to have shocked the stock a little bit and pushed it to the downside. I mentioned energy a little bit on under some pressure. Well, you look over some of those beta names, you look at something like a Diamondback, Schlumberger, some of those names, they definitely coming under pressure. So I got two unusuals, and then I got a really busy day for you. I'm doing the halftime report today. I'm also doing the 5 p.m. show, which is only a half-hour show before they go into the rest of their day with trading. So I'm going to start off with this. Luminar Technologies, LAZR. Now, it's not a name that comes up very frequently for us. Stock was trading about 15.15 this morning. We had a buyer. This is why it really stuck out for me. A buyer of February. Everything we see is a week out, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, a long distances out. If you're going out to September, October, November, wow, that seems like forever away. These are February, 4,200 of the February 15 strike calls. And why are they trading for $2.60 up to $2.70? You are buying time premium. That's what you're getting when you're going all the way out to February. So just keep that in mind. I talk a lot of the time about this very short stuff. You've got to be on top of it. This is going out into the future. You're buying time, so that's why you're paying that kind of a premium for the options here with the stock trading at 15.15, right at the money. Now, Snowflake, SNOW. This one's pretty interesting because it's trading right around 251.50 at the time of the trade. We had a buyer of 4,000 of next Friday, back to normal. Next Friday, the August 27th, expiring 260 calls. Looking for a nice push in the next week of about $9, $10 to the upside. And these options that are going for $7.50 to $9.50, not inexpensive. These are very expensive options. That's a very expensive stock. That's going to push this as well. I got to kick out one last thing that I sort of skipped over in terms of what we are seeing on the day. Have you looked at Microsoft today? You know, I've gotten so much pushback from so many people for so many years. When Satya Nadella came in and the stock was trading, $40 a share, and all it's done is gone higher and higher and higher and higher, little pauses here and there on the way up, over 300 today. Last I looked, it actually breached over 305. A lot of option activity there. I might be talking about that when we get on the halftime report, because there is plenty of option activity there. Be talking about a lot of different things that's going on about this week and everything else. Look forward to seeing you then. Folks, have a great day of trading.